Hey class, it's Austin Smith, your peer tutor for the semester in Mr. Epping's business class. I just wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks to help you out this semester and through the rest of high school. Manage your time better and hopefully help you with your assignments in the future. Yeah, they've helped me a lot over the last 2 years because before now I had really bad time management skills. I had issues getting assignments done on time. I ended up staying way too late to get them done, and it wasn't my best work. Using these tips, they should help you through the rest of the year and help you get the best marks you can achieve throughout high school. And I hope that they'll help you the way they helped me. Without further ado, let's get into it. Tip number 1, make sure you have a schedule. People don't understand how important it is to have a calendar or have, at least in your mind, an organized list of what you need to do for the week. With doing this, it helps you set up like the days, the times you need to get everything done, and like you need to fit time in for studying too. Even if it's not something big, like you don't have a test coming up, just reviewing some notes over, even like 10 minutes a day, or a little bit more if you really want to get some good results. That's gonna help you a lot. Yeah, I mean, this helps you keep track of what assignments are coming up. It helps you plan ahead, make sure you have the time in your schedule for this to work, and for you to get the work done without having to hand in late or not have your best work done for your teacher. You want to be satisfied with your work and make sure your teacher feels the same way so you can get the best mark possible. By having a schedule and planning out your time, you're going to be able to set up and make sure you can fit in social time with your friends, time for work, any other commitments you have, as well as having your assignments done on time and when you need to have them done. This really helped me out. When I started working, I work at Tim Hortons. This helped me schedule when I had to have assignments done and how I'd fit my schoolwork around that, and how I could also hang out with friends and stuff within my other free times. Tip 2, you want to make sure that your social plans, like I talked about before, don't interfere with your schoolwork. Sure, it's fun to hang out with your friends and make sure you can do stuff with like people who are close to you, but you need to find a balance. If you spend too much time hanging with your friends and neglect your schoolwork, your grades are gonna reflect that, and you're gonna have really bad marks. Or maybe not really bad, there might be a drop, and you don't want that to happen. Especially grade 11, grade 12, when your marks really count, and that's when, or like your grades always count, but this is when this is when universities and colleges look at your marks, and this is what's going to count on your, like when they're seeing if you can fit into their program. I really had to pay attention to this last year and this year, because as much as I want to hang out with friends, it's important to me that I get high marks so that I can get into the programs I really want to get into. Your friends can be great. They can encourage you to get your work done, but they can also be a distraction. And make sure you manage that so you don't have your friends stunting your success rather than helping you prosper. Tip number 3, make sure you take breaks between your work. This may seem like counterproductive because if you take a break, you may get distracted. And you need to make sure you pay attention to that. Maybe take 5-10 minutes and do anything you want, as long as you don't get dragged into it. Sometimes I'll watch a video or something, I end up watching videos for a couple hours instead of doing my work, and that's really not productive. It sets me behind and I'm way too tired to do my work. As long as you pay attention to your breaks and make sure they're not too long, it should help you stay on task and keep you working the best you can without getting too burnt out. And this is important because if you get burnt out, you lose all your motivation to work, and your work's not going to be the best it can be. Next tip. Okay, tip number 4. If you have a lot of work at once, you want to make sure you have buffer periods in between, swapping through different assignments and homework to make sure if you have one long assignment, you don't get too burnt out from it, and you don't lose motivation to it. For example, say you have an essay and a 4-page paper as well as math homework. When you're doing your essay, after you finish it, instead of going straight on to another long assignment, you can instead put the math homework in between and use this to kind of mellow down a bit and take some time in between doing a lot of writing to do a little bit of math and yeah, just stay away from the writing for a little bit. This is going to help you make sure all your assignments are done, getting small assignments and homework done in between big assignments, and make sure you have them done on time, as well as keeping you motivated to keep doing your work by having that little buffer in between. I do this often with, I think for world issues this year, I had to color math, and I had 2 essays due. So I did 1 essay, colored the math, and then had another essay. I finished that night before school, which isn't great too. You should not do assignments right before they're due, but I had work and it really conflicted, and I did not have my schedule going at this time, which is why that's important too. Okay, so tip 5, you want to make sure you give yourself time and enough to study without being distracted. These distractions often come from your phone because we're always on them, like, let's be real. And even just like having music on in the background, like that can be really beneficial. But if you're watching the videos of the music, you can get dragged into it. Or say if you have a movie or just videos on in the background, if you can get dragged into it, you don't want that to happen. I think I was doing an essay the other day and I was watching all of Baby Driver because I was just trying to listen to the movie while doing the work. But yeah, I watched the whole movie. And even though I got my assignment done, I would have got more sleep that night and felt like I paid more attention to my work had I not watched the movie. And I'm going to keep trying to improve that for myself so that I am not being as distracted as I could be. So when you're doing assignments, you want to get your phone out of the way if you can, unless you're using it to get help with your work, using it for your benefit. You want to keep phones, videos, stuff like that away. And for music, you want to make sure, say you're listening to it, you don't want to keep swapping the songs all the time because you get dragged into that. Have a playlist set and then you just use that for your whole homework period or the time you're studying, working on assignments. Finally, tip number 6, you want to make sure you have the energy for your work. If you're doing something that doesn't need a lot of energy, I'd say you do that towards the end of when you're doing your homework. Because stuff that needs a lot of energy, like a lot of thinking to it, such as writing essays, big assignments, math homework, the stuff that takes the longest and is the hardest to do, you want to do that first. Because it's a lot harder to get this stuff done, find motivation to get it done if you don't have the energy for it. This is important. You want to put stuff at the end that's, I don't know, like reading and stuff at the end, because you can do that without using too much energy. It's something you can do without having to put way too much thought into it. By doing this, you're not wasting energy doing the things that aren't as hard to do as long assignments, writing assignments, stuff like that. And this what's also really important about keeping energy for your assignments is getting enough sleep. A lot of people, they brag about staying up late, and that's not something good to do. You need to get a good amount of sleep. I understand if you work on assignments, you stay up late, but instead of going onto your phone after doing assignments, you go to bed and make sure you're ready for the next day. And if you can, catch up on sleep whenever you can. Sleep's really important, because if you go for a long period without sleeping, you're gonna get really burnt out, and it's hard to get your work done. These are the 6 tips to help you throughout high school and through the rest of the year. They've all helped me, and I'm still working on doing them for myself, but they are important. Yeah, I'll see you in class. Peace.